Well, okay, this is something you never actually answered the last time. How many American lives are you willing to sacrifice for the Ukrainian conflict? 1, 10, 100? No, you never actually gave a number.
I did. -1.
Oh, so you don't want to put a single American life into this conflict?
Right. I don't want to.
Okay, so congratulations. We finally got a line here. So Icow has officially stated tonight that you will not support any American troop involvement. And once one drop of American blood is spilled, that is too far, and you will no longer support this war. God bless. God bless.
American troop involvement. I don't.
We already have special forces on the ground.
What I do.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do. There was actually a leak that came out last year that revealed yes, we do.
No, we talked.
So it's one of the big reasons me and Voldemort had a big falling out was because the leak revealed that we had these special forces there, and he just didn't want to admit it.
14 embassy guards.
Yes,
that's what they told us they were doing after they got admitted to lying. Like, I'm sorry, you don't believe the second lie to cover up the first lie, man. Come on. It's like when a chick cheats on you. It's like, but I only cheated on you once. Yeah, sure you did.
They're not in the embassy. Where are they?
Yeah, show us where it says that.
What?
Show us where it says there are special forces on the ground.
No, that was from a leak last year that was actually confirmed by the Pentagon. So the Pentagon had to ultimately confirm that we had special forces on the ground in Ukraine in this conflict. American blood is in the way of actual danger in this war. And we have the very real risk of losing American blood over this war. So I ask, how many Americans are you willing to sacrifice before you say you will not support this war? Mine is zero. Zero American lives. That's not
the question I asked. You didn't hear it. I'll ask you again.
Because you still haven't answered my question. You've given a -1 answer. It's not non-answer. I'll hear your question first, but I still need a real answer from you.
If you're not afraid to hear it, I can tell you what -1 means. But then I asked you a question, which is, do you trust that confirmation or not? You said it was confirmed by the Pentagon. Is that confirmation
Jesus
true,
Christ,
or is it a lie?
No, you can look it up. Like, the audience will find everything I've said is quite verifiable.
No. I agree with you that it was confirmed by the Pentagon, but I believe the confirmation, which was that.
And the leak. Well, it was the leaked documents that said, yeah, we actually do have these folks on the ground. And then after this was revealed, they had to come up with a made-up lie, like, well, obviously they're just there to protect an embassy or something. All of our information, all of our equipment, and all of our ambassadors should have been out of Ukraine long ago. So any relevant information, any relevant equipment should have been pulled out a lot. So there's no need to protect
the Surrender Caucus is going to believe that for sure. But the question still remains, do you trust that confirmation or not? Like, you're citing the confirmation as if it's a reliable
I trust the leak.
source.
I trust the leak and the fact that the Pentagon said, yeah, this is true. So when an accused even ultimately says, yes, this that is brought against me is true, you have to take them at their word.
Okay, so let me explain.
Again, whoa. You never actually ansed my question.
How many Americans are you willing to... You're interrupting my answer to tell me to answer. I'm answering you. -1.
It's pretty simple.
-1. And here's what -1 means. -1 means
something that involves going to war.
Just the opposite. So -1 means that you stop encouraging Russia to continue to invade its neighbors. The next thing that it does
by war, I bet.
Like you said last time we talked, that you would send the message to Russia that if they raise the threat of nuclear war at all.
Well, no, how many? You're saying you have to discourage them. So obviously that means war. How many Americans are you willing to sacrifice?
No.
Because it's obviously clearly more than zero. Because this -1 thing is just a bullshit answer to try and say, like, well, no, it's basically another peace through strength bullshit argument.
How many are you willing to sacrifice in order to protect?
Zero. Zero. There are zero fucking American lives that are worth sacrificing for this whole fucking nonsense of a conflict. I'm sorry. It's not worth it.
This is the risk of
how many are worth it? How many? How many are you willing to sacrifice? You will not give a straight answer to this question. I've said repeatedly, zero. You will not give a straight answer to this question. How many are you willing to sacrifice in this conflict that you love so dearly?
You're still avoiding the fact that if they are allowed,
still avoiding an answer.
If they're allowed to invade Lithuania, and you say no, you can't.
How many?
Or yes, you can. We will put up with that -1.
How many?
-1 is not an
That's
irrational
not the
number.
answer. That's not an answer, actually, because your -1 is a peace through strength. Well, we have to send troops in, and to your mind, that somehow insanely leads to -1. Now, I know in your mind, I know that sounds really smart, but to everybody's like, oh, that's what I call a bullshit non-answer. It's just you're not answering the question, because that peace through strength, that dissuasion is going to eventually evolve force, and that's going to eventually evolve our troops having to.
Does. Eventually.
So how many are you willing to sacrifice before you sue for peace?
-1. -1.
Okay, all right. So you're not going to answer the question. You're just not going to answer the question because you realize it's toxic. Because it's more than 0. Well, no. You say when there's eventually going to have to be this force. You agreed that there will have to be a meeting of force. So how many of our boys are you willing to sacrifice when that force meets, which you have conceded that it will? You have conceded that it will using your ideas. You have fully conceded this. How many are you willing? Because it's not -1. If you say that again, I just take that as a concession that you just know that you've lost this. You can take it
however you like, but the fact
is, I know that this is just you conceding that you've lost this, because the force is going to require people to die. So how many are you willing to sacrifice before you're willing to sue for peace?
To give them Lithuania.
How many?
Next.
How many? So
-1.
Okay, that's just a bullshit answer, because you know you've lost this. Because you can't give a straight answer. Like, I'm not going to let you wriggle out of this. You're not going to get away with this. I've given you a straight answer, an actual. You trying to say -1 is just you trying to not admit that you have a peace through strength nonsense bullshit answer to this that's going to require death.
How many are you willing to
0,
sacrifice?
0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. I've given you a straight answer every time, and you give me a bullshit answer every time.
You're okay with
0. I've given you a straight answer, and you've given me a blatant bullshit answer every time.
So if your choice is one death versus the planet, you're gonna choose
That's not the choice. We ain't on the fucking verge of speaking Ruski, man. Fucking A. Are you fucking serious here?
I asked you. Hold on. You're the one who says that. You're the one who says that we're gonna have a nuclear war, and that's the end of the world if we pursue this strategy. So
if we keep pursuing your strategy, we will end with a nuclear war eventually.
So then it's not a fantasy.
We will like that. No, that's how you want. That's your -1 bullshit answer. That's where that lands.
No, I agree that you
agree. Yes, that the -1 lands us at nuclear war. Thank you. All right. Look, praise Jesus.
So -1 is less than 0, Phil.
No, it's not, because someone has to go to war. Like, this is just a bullshit answer. Like, I know in your debate class when you formulate in your head, like, oh, this is such a good answer, but you just admitted yourself that you already admitted yourself that your own -1 answer is going to result in force versus force, which is going to be people killing each other. So it's a bullshit answer.
Here's the reason I have to, because you give 1/3 of a second for people to answer those questions. And so
I have asked you the same question dozens of times, and you have not given me a straight answer.
I might ask you, what is the square root of an irrational number? You're not going to be able to give me an answer in a whole number.
No, it's that you want to sacrifice American lives for this war. You think it's worth it. You just know you can't give a straight answer to that.
No, your argument appears to be that I just enjoy pulling wings off of ants.
Well, no, like, dude, I would love for you to give a straight answer that isn't now let me just give me 30 seconds here. Give me 30 seconds, and then I'm going to give you the floor to see if you can give an actual answer here, because the -1 answer, as you've already said, as you've already admitted, is a bullshit answer where eventually force will have to meet with force. You already admitted that. You already conceded that. So all that is a rhetorical trick to have to get around answering the straight question of how many lives are you willing to sacrifice for this war you love so dearly? And if you can't give a straight answer to that, because me, it's 0. And so my answer to you, because your answer clearly from every discussion we have had, it is more than 0. It is more than 1. That is, so my question to you is, because you won't say, I don't want to commit American lives. Would you say right now you will commit to no American lives in this conflict whatsoever, and the moment one drop of American blood is spilled, you will withdraw all support for this war? Will you commit to that right now?
So no, the answer is no, and the reason is it depends on the scenario, right? So, for instance.
So then I'm right.
So what I'm seeing is we've had multiple presidents allow land to be taken by Russians in Ukraine. Their people dying, their people being basically replaced. Finally, we hit the point with everything that happened from 2014 up to where they could take no more, and they decided to fight back, and we're backing them. So in what way is us endorsing or not endorsing a war technically going to stop that from working out?
Well, how long are we going to help keep that going?
How long are we going to protect liberty?
No. Here's the thing. Eventually, whether you like it or not, all war eventually ends with the thing I'm saying we all need to do in the first place, and that is sue for peace and negotiate. This war will eventually end. So my question is, if we keep giving arms, we keep giving money, we keep extending the time of this war. So how long do you want this war to go? 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 100 years, 150 years? Like, how much time, effort, energy, and human wealth are we willing to pour into this? Because to me, like, we've already poured too much. We've already poured too much lives. We've already poured too many people, too much wealth, too much treasure, too much technology, too much time, too much effort, too much energy, too much money. It's already been too much.
I know you're not going to believe this, Phil. So here's an article from Reuters that says, fact check. Pentagon says the U.S. military personnel are in Ukraine and inspect deliveries of the U.S. weapons not to go into combat. And then the verdict, I'll just skip down to the bottom.
And Iraq had WMDs. Sorry, like,
you're right.
Anytime you look at war as a prosperity of peace, you've already had a warped sense of what war is actually about.
Say that again, T. Say that again. I'm curious.
Anytime you start looking at war as something to prosper towards peace, you've just warped what war is actually about. War is a fucking economic machine. War is a scare tactic. War is a flex. War is a waste of human life. War is a waste of resource. War is a waste of pretty much everything. And the people who actually want it and push for it never actually get affected by it. And it's the people that have to succumb to those wishes of the people who push for it.
I think everybody agrees with
as soon as you start pushing for it, you've already kind of lost perspective of what the entire idea of war is about.
Exactly. I think we all agree.
There it is.
Nice. So we're all a bunch of peaceniks now. Kumbaya. God bless. Like we achieve, but like, no, Ico, I don't mean to pick on you on this, but like you and I are just diametrically opposed on a lot of things on this. Hey, guys, I just want you to all know that today when I was out and about, I stopped by a liquor store and I found Icowrich's new favorite spirit. This is Odessa VSOP. This is Ukrainian-made brandy. Nice. So this is actually, it says on the bottle here, import by Global Spirits USA LLC, product and bottled by Prots in Odessa, Ukraine, product of Ukraine. So yeah, this is Ukrainian. So I found
Heard it here first, folks. Phil K.O.E. endorses war in
literally funding the Ukrainians.
That's blood whiskey.
Right, Tony. You said all those facts earlier, and now you made Phil leave.
Yeah,
that's blood whiskey. Oh man, Ico, you have no idea. Like now, when I make this review, it's like it's like the blood on Zelensky's head.
Phil, I need you to take a swig, and I need you to tell me what it means to have what it tastes like to have a proxy war in a bottle.
Damn, that's a tagline right there.
I was about to say I might just I'm downloading this whole stream just to edit that line out to put it in the official review of that. Like, yeah, that's beautiful. Like, hell, actually, this only cost me $6. So I was about to say, I bet you can.
Oh, so that not only does proxy war win, but capitalism wins. I love it.
So I was about to say, Ico, one of these days you should see if you can find a bottle of this. We'll do a review together.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Like, all right.
Except I don't know how to taste. Like I just don't have the palate for
it. Don't matter. You're just like it'll be funnier where I'm like, this is the worst brandy ever, and I was like, no, this brandy is amazing. It's effervescent. It's not.
We should buy this brandy forever so that others can fight a war.
We should buy hundreds of bottles.
I don't even like brandy, but I drink it to fund Ukraine.
I'm sorry. Oh. CIA in a bottle for $6, says Grow the Farm Up. Like, yeah,
capitalism winning Big W.
3 of those dollars went to the CIA, but like it's like I saw that like what the fuck? There's a fucking Ukrainian brandy.